Hola a tots, gràcies per acompanyar-nos en aquesta roda de premsa de presentació, diria, d'una setmana. Podríem dir, gairebé parlàvem amb el Joan Maria abans, que és la setmana de Fumiaki Miura, perquè demà estarà present al Palau de la Música en el marc del cicle Ibercamera i al cap de setmana estarà amb nosaltres. De fet, està tota aquesta setmana ja treballant amb l'orquestra per presentar aquest projecte en aquesta sala. Què us puc dir jo? Per introduir bàsicament que estem feliços de poder avui estar aquí, de formar part d'aquest projecte, d'aquests dos projectes, que és un luxe comptar amb ells, comptar amb el mestre Zukerman, que serà la segona vegada que dirigirà l'orquestra, la quarta vegada com a solista, i Fumiaki, que debutarà, i Maria Joao Pires, que estarà present al Palau amb Fumiaki fent aquest recital fantàstic de violí i piano. Passaria la paraula, si us sembla, al Josep Maria Prat, que en nom d'Ibercamera també ens doni unes paraules, i com a amic i vell conegut dels aquí presents, segur que ens pot donar més detalls o més anècdotes relacionades amb el que avui passarà.
No sé si els detalls els donaran ells a l'escenari. Sí, volia explicar que les coincidències, perquè nosaltres coneixem el Fumiaki Miura a través de Pinchas Zukerman. Fa bastants anys en aquest mateix auditori vam fer tocar junts a la Maria Joao Zukerman, vam fer una sonata i un concert. I bé, i ara la Maria Joao, a través nostra, ha conegut el Fumiaki Miura, i això em sembla que aquest és el nostre paper com a promotors durant molts anys, doncs haver fet aquestes transmissions, i naturalment ens sentim molt agraïts i molt honorats d'estar col·laborant en aquests dos concerts.
Farem, si us sembla, una petita conversa en anglès, i si hi ha algun dubte o alguna cosa que haguem de traduir, m'ho demaneu, suposo que més o menys ho anirem seguint. Should we start with the beginning, which is tomorrow? Maybe, in Palau de la Música. The concert is happening tomorrow with Fumiaki and Maria Joao. Could you tell us a little bit what we're going to hear?
We have a very nice program. That what we start with Schubert Sonatina in A minor, and then we play Debussy Sonata. And second half will be Schumann Three Romances, Robert Schumann Three Romances. And in the end we play Beethoven's Sonata No. 5, Spring.
Very nice.
Yes.
And this is a project actually that we were supposed to have to hear some months ago, no?
It was postponed. Like also because of COVID last year, and also then her injury.
I had an injury, so I broke my shoulder, so we had to change the program because of that.
But fortunately, we'll be able to have it.
Finally, it's happening.
Finally, it's happening. Are you, just out of curiosity, are you playing anywhere else? Is this the only concert you're going to be playing together?
At the moment, yes.
For the moment, yes.
For the moment, yes.
Yes.
Okay. So that's happening tomorrow in Palau de la Música, and as Fumiaki was saying, we have the Primavera Sonata, which is one of the most kind of famous sonatas, Beethoven sonatas.
Yes.
And then we'll have Fumiaki working this week also, together with Maestro Zukerman, and offering this Bach and Mendelssohn program, which we've been looking forward to it because it was also cancelled because of the pandemic, and now we are bringing back. It's a very exciting program for us, and it's been a long time. I haven't checked that since we haven't heard the Bach double concerto. We've had Mendelssohn's, but I don't know the last time we had the Bach. We could check. How are you looking forward to this week? You've been working with the orchestra before, So you know
Many years ago.
and you know the hall very well.
The hall I know, yes. But the orchestra I don't know very well.
So
I think a lot of new people now. I know the concertmaster, I think also. There's new concertmaster, right?
We have a new
From Romania.
concertmaster. Yeah, yeah.
I'm looking forward to meeting him.
Vlad. And also we have a new music director.
Oh, that's right.
But that's coming in September. You know him well, maybe.
I played with
Ludovic
him.
Wolo.
I played with him once in Tanglewood.
Okay, the festival.
A few years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. He was completely unknown then.
And tell us about the program a little bit. What are we going to hear?
Well, the first piece is Midsummer Night's Dream, but I only do 3 movements of Mendelssohn, and then Fumi will play the violin concerto. After that, we play Bach and the Italian Symphony to finish.
Very nice. And what else can we tell about this week?
I will tell you tomorrow. You know, by tomorrow, by 12:30, if you ask me the question about the same question, I'll be able to answer. Today, I don't know because I haven't seen the orchestra yet.
Of course,
So
of course, of course.
it's a bewilderment to me still. I have no idea, but I will find out very quickly, I'm sure.
We were talking with Pinchas about the pandemic in the U.S.
Well, pandemic is everywhere.
Yeah. But how were you feeling?
Well, New Yorkers have been very good about wearing masks, and contrary to England, they still, even now, they're not wearing masks. When we go inside, we wear the mask, let's say in a restaurant, and then, of course, to eat, we take it off. In our building, in our apartment building, we wear masks to go up and down. It's not required by law, but it's common sense, you know. And I think we have been able to really control the pandemic as much as possible. I think a lot of people in New York also got at least 2 shots. I have 3 already. And probably will get another one pretty soon, once they find out about this new variant.
Yes.
I hope to get another shot because they say that may help, but we don't know yet. We have to wait at least a week to 10 days. Mr. Fauci and company will bring some news to us, I'm sure, very soon. But I don't think that anybody should get hysterical. We got hysterical 2 years ago, and everything stopped, and everybody went, and take it easy. You know, we know how to do things now. It's unfortunate that a lot of people got very sick, and they're still getting sick because they don't believe that any of the medication can help them. And that's sad. We have to really, the world has to come to some place where there's an understanding that it's not you, it's the person next to you. If you're not vaccinated, you're making the other person viable for a disease, and that's not good. We have about 4.5 billion vaccinations now around the world, and we should do at least 7. If we get to 6.5 billion people, then we're okay. I think then we can get rid of this slowly. Otherwise, these mutants are going to come back and come back and come back in different formats. That much we know. What they are, we don't know yet. You know, so it's a big problem. It's a big problem for psychological problem for a lot of people. Say, I don't need it. You don't need it? What do you mean you don't need it? Well, you know, even if you get a vaccine, you're going to get sick. Yeah, maybe you won't get sick if you take the vaccine, you know? Why? And it's free. It's free. Now they have the children, at least. I have 2 little girls, grandchildren. They're not getting the vaccines also. So that's a relief for the family, for the schools, for the teachers. It's important that we really take care. Also, we have new apps now that will follow the person. They know who has it. That we didn't have 2 years ago. So we've learned a little bit how to take care of certain things. In my country, in Israel, they've closed the borders again. Okay, I don't disagree with that, but I hope they open that soon. I don't want to close it for too long, because economically, we're suffering terribly, terribly. not only in the usual market, stock market, etc., but also in the profession we are in, for example. People are afraid to come to concerts. So let's make it easier for them to come to a concert. I don't mind wearing the mask, it's okay, you know. I'm not that beautiful. If I was Richard Burton, maybe. You know? So I think it's a little short-sighted for not helping the rest of your neighbors.
It is. Going back a little bit to the concert and what we're going to be doing, you both have been collaborating before.
Yeah, I accompany him a lot.
Opposite.
I put rosin on his bow. I know his father also, you know. His papa plays violin very well. We played many times in Miyazaki in the festival. He is a wonderful leader. And so he comes from a wonderful DNA. His mama plays piano.
Violin.
She plays violin?
Also violin.
Who plays piano?
My sister.
Oh, your sister. Yeah, it's almost the same.
Yeah, almost the same.
I always make that mistake.
You know.
Okay.
And for you, Fumiaki, it's a great week, I guess. Not every time you get to collaborate with such artists.
Exactly.
No?
It's such an honor for me to make music together with these two living legends. You know, and for me, it's a lot of, you know, great experiences will come in the concert. You know, also, of course, like, you know, when we talk, you know, a lot of stories that, you know, I appreciate a lot. I'm very, very happy to be here.
Very nice,
Yes.
very nice, I guess. Maybe we can open to some questions now that you have them here.
Yes.
What represents for you to play with Maria Joao, no? And when you have rehearsed, what do you notice? What do you feel?
Take out the mask. We cannot.
For me,
Oh, she said that.
I understood. Because
represent-
she wants you to maybe take out
Just
the
when you
mask.
speak.
When you speak. But I understood. It was a question to me. Yeah? It is.
She wants to understand. I understand. No, I answer what it represents for him and what does he feel playing with somebody, like what kind of connections exist when you rehearse.
For me, she's one and only pianist in the world, and it's so special feeling. It's like you know, it's very special to collaborate with her because that there are some incredible interpretation that I never experienced with anyone else. So it's really exciting, and I'm looking forward to the concert tomorrow and what will happen, you know, on the stage.
And the same, but for you, you have played with many people, Maria Joao. So how do you see him, or what do you experiment?
Yes. I even had the honor of playing with Pinchas Zukerman.
The other
Yeah.
way around.
And I really enjoyed it. I'm very happy to discover Fumiaki because he's not only a great talent, but for me, he's a person that is able to love the discovering music. So you feel in him this need to discover new things and new possibilities. And I think we are just starting, so it's a tricky moment because we are starting getting used to each other and starting to learn things from each other. But I think it's in the future could be a great collaboration. But I didn't play with many violinists, no. I played with very few. When I was young, I had a duo with a violinist, with a young violinist for many years. But after that, it was for a long time, I played different sets like trios and quintet, and I was accompanying singers. I didn't play much with violin. Then for a while, I did a lot of recordings. But So in terms of violin, I know a bit the repertoire, but didn't play with many. So I'm very happy.
You have a big sonata repertoire, like a violin,
Yeah.
piano,
Yes,
piano violin.
yes.
Do you ever play with viola?
I did. Even Shostakovich. I played a couple of sonatas.
Next time we play, I play
Viola,
viola.
viola. That's
I
great.
love it, yes.
Nice. Really nice.
More questions. I will repeat the question so we can also hear it from the streaming.
So you want me to ask it in English?
Yes, anyway, and I can repeat it.
I was wondering about the particularities of double concertos or sonatas for two soloists. From the standpoint of the soloist, how is it like to share the focus and co-lead the orchestra? Or I was wondering from your point of view.
So he's asking, just for the audience, that for you to tell us a little bit how it is to, what's special about double concertos and what can happen on stage, what kind of challenges.
For us, maybe for violinists, to do like a double concerto is, it has to be extremely together. In a way, not just together in the sound, but it's like the direction in the music. I learned from him when we played Mozart Concertante, that we were practicing in a room before orchestra rehearsal. And it was incredible feeling for me how we, connected, and he told me how to go, the direction with the music. Maybe you can also describe this. I don't know. Or do you?
I have to write an email to Mozart, find out what he wants. It sounds complicated, or probably you think it's complicated, but actually it's not complicated. You know why? Because the music says it all. And if the music is right, you can play double, you can play triple, you can play with 150 people. It's a combination of knowing what it says here. That's the alphabet. Now, how you pronounce it is the problem. So what we try to do a lot is begin to listen. If you listen, begin to really listen, learn to listen. It's not easy. We teach people how to listen. When we just work with somebody alone, or if I stand and conduct, the whole idea is to have number 7 listen to number 6 and say, hey, do you know you're playing together? Oh, okay, it's that simple. So imitation is good. If the imitation is not so good, I say, Fumi, let's try that. And then he'll say, well, maybe we should do this. I say, okay. So again, comes this conversation, best because the music is right there. That's your alphabet. If you don't speak properly in the language, don't speak it. Okay, learn how to do it first. And it's a wonderful thing to be able to do it again, to experiment of pieces that you've played a bit over the years with other people, with new people, to show them what you know from the person I played it with, let's say, in the same situation he was. When I was 20, what are you, 28?
Yeah.
28. A little bit before, I played already with somebody called Isaac Stern. You remember him? Yeah, pretty good. And, when we started to play together, he said, what are you doing? I went, oops. I don't do that. I say, let's try this. That was his way. I'll never forget that, okay? So there are so many things. When I was 11 years old, I heard the Budapest Quartet in Tel Aviv. In 4 nights, they played all the Beethoven quartets in a row, And I will never forget some of the things I saw when I was 11. How can you forget? It's not possible. If you really take the language, the grammar inside of you, it's like looking at a beautiful Picasso or Braque or Monet, a Goya. How can you forget that? You understand? Okay, it's the same thing with music. And the more you know music, the more you want to know. That's talent. It's called curiosity. And I think Maria is just as curious now as she was when she was 20. She's saying that to you. Not like the way I just said it, but I'm sure she would say it to you if you were alone. You know? So I'm just as curious now as I was when I was 20. For sure. That's what music is. That's what life is.
Can we also learn from young people, not just
Of course, only young people. No, that's not true. No, of course not. Listen, I had one of the greatest mentors, is Palau Casals, you know? One time I played for him, I played 2 bars, and for 1 hour. 1 hour, you know? No, da-dum, 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 da-dum. You understand? I said, yeah. So I said again. He said, no, again. So, and he used to say, in English, he used to say, rainbow. I never thought that the rainbow had so many colors, you know, but he did. So he said, rainbow. He was looking for everything inside the rainbow to tell me, hey, look at this. Not today, not tomorrow, for the rest of your life. Man, I was lucky, okay? And he was already 80 years old, 81 years old. I was 14. So there's a big difference there. But he always wanted to tell you something that he saw. Not in a way like a professor, but just say, look at this. Look at this. Just listen to this. And let's try this. And let's try that. And then you go, okay, now let's do it again. You know, and he would, the enthusiasm of this particular person, but many, many people that I was very lucky to know. And through my whole life, I've been like that. Now I'm just a little bit older, so I have now even better. I can tell them what to do, okay? And we just pass it on. The tradition continues. And by the way, you know that's all we do. That's all we do. That's how lucky is that? That is so lucky. Can you imagine? To be able to play the Beethoven Concerto again. Oh, amazing.
I wanted to ask, especially to Maria Joao Pires, because you have been in Barcelona many times. How is it like to work with the organization here, with the orchestra? What makes you come again and again?
This guy.
Sorry, just let me.
I didn't hear very well.
He's asking because you separately, obviously, sometimes maybe together, but with Pinchas, have been in Barcelona many, many times performing.
Yes.
How is it to play in this city? How is it to play with the orchestras when you've been here? How is it to play in these halls, the halls you've been playing, Palau and L'Auditori? What's your feeling? What's your connection with the city, I guess he's asking.
Well, the connection is Jose Maria. That's now, the last 25, 30 years. But my connection goes back to Casals. And I don't think that many people outside of Spain that understand there's a big difference between Spain and Catalan. And so you learn about that when you're here. There's a very different language, there's a different habits, food, etc. The musicality, the musical aspiration of the individual in Latino countries is amazing. It's, after all, a romantic language. We speak English, you know. Hello, how are you? Hey, buenos dias. It's excitement. So that, to me, that's an incredible feeling of knowing these kind of people that give that sort of enthusiasm to something they hear, there's something they taste, something they know about, history. There's tremendous history here, especially for someone like me that knows the history of the Arabs in the Mediterranean and then all the diaspora people that came all the way from North Africa through Spanish. And you know what? Here, It's the same latitude as Tel Aviv. Same, exactly the same. And if you look closely, we have the same facial distinction. Maybe a little less now than we did before. But in 1971, when I first came to Madrid, I heard after the concert somebody said there's a Castanets lady. Her name was Lucerna Tena. I went to see her. And that rhythm, I still hear that rhythm. That's amazing. You don't learn that in school, you know? And I met her and she was amazing, absolutely amazing. I came to play, first time, I didn't want to come because there was a terrible man here called Franco. And I said, I don't want to go there. But then I had a telephone call from the Burgos, and he said, please, please, you must come and play, because Mr. Oistrach just canceled, he's sick. I said, but Raphael, I don't, he said, please. So I came, and I was not disappointed. So it didn't matter who sits in the government, you know, because at the end, the music we play is stronger than anything that sits in government, anytime in history, okay? Because we have a lot of people that were great, some of them were monsters, they're gone. Guess what? Bach is still here, you know? And he will stay here forever, forever. So all these aspects of being able to perform it in a big hall, in a small hall, that already depends on circumstance. Why am I speaking so much? I'm always speaking too much these days, you know? So, because I think people don't understand us. They think we just play. Yeah. No, I think about everything. And I have a very, very strict, I'm sure they have all the same, I have a very strict routine, very strict. At home, especially in the last 2 years, I get up, I have a cup of coffee, I have a shower, and I go into my room. You know? And COVID has given me a little time to rethink a little bit. I had, all of a sudden, I didn't have to go to the airport, I didn't have to go to rehearsal, blah, 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 blah. So I had time to really get to know my instrument again, in a different way a little bit, because I'm a little bit older, you know, but I don't feel that when I play. But in my head I am. So this gave me a little time to regroup a little bit. And I'm lucky. I'm very lucky. Does that help you? Too much talking, no? Say it, it's okay. She can say also, come on, Maria, talk.
I enjoy listening to you talking. You cannot imagine how much I enjoy, because you're saying also my thoughts somehow.
In that case, let me stand up and talk.
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't know that you speak so much.
Well, with you, I don't have to. You know, I met him, he was 16 years old.
Yeah.
And why? I heard him play, of course, and I saw this tremendous talent. But at 16, 17, 18, hormones go blah, blah, boom, blah, bim, blah, bam, you know? And I know that for myself. So I had to be, he asked me if I could play for me. I said, of course. So he played, and we talked. And then a couple of days later, I remember I said, so what have you been doing? He said, oh, I just won the Hanover Prize. The what? Hanover Prize. And then 2 years later, he said, that was the worst thing that ever happened to me. And I went, that's the one. I want him. Okay? And that's very important what he just said to me 2 years later. To realize that a competition is not a beginning, it's an end. Okay? Now, a lot of people go to a competition and they'll say, oh, look at me, I'm a star, you know? This is a long journey. And I started this journey, I was about 11, 12. And my God, it goes up and down, up and down. And in the last few years, it's been okay, you know? Because you learn. You learn. You learn from a lot of things. Life, basically. But you always, always think of what you can do better. If the minute you think you're good, finita la commedia. Oh, yeah.
Thank you. for saying that.
It's true. That's why we're here.
You, Maria Joao, you remember the first time you came to Barcelona?
Oh, it was a really long time ago, but I remember, yes. I remember having the same feeling as Master Zukerman, that it was different from Spain. And this is my first memory. And I had already a very good relationship to José Maria Prat, and we started working together. This was really, my memory comes from that. Feel the difference, yes. Because, you know, when I was a child and during the dictatorship, the two dictators, they didn't like each other so much. They were not the best friends, which means I grew up thinking that Spain is enemy. So nothing is good coming from Spain. And you know, then we, of course, with the years, I got to learn that Spain has fantastic things and great artists. Then I met Alicia de la Rocha, and this was for me an important issue, because I could feel how much she could approach music in an honest way, and with this feeling of that's only that counts, you know, not being related to the careers, to the competitions, to anything, just making music. This was a nice meeting, and then artists here are just amazing. You find incredible people. So I learned to feel the Iberia instead of just Portugal and Spain.
I have to share a story with you, apropos Alicia. When she played mostly Mozart in New York, mostly
Yes.
Mozart, I was conducting, and we wear white jackets in those days.
Yes.
And so I was here, she was, of course, the piano was here, and she finished, she played, I forget which Mozart concerto, it was just beautiful. Okay. And I was so excited. So I went down on the podium, and she stood up, and she gave me a hug. I gave her a hug, and she was about to here.
Okay.
And she had red lipstick, so I didn't see.
Yes.
So she gave me a hug. When we went off the stage, we came back, and said, oops. Alicia, what's this?
wonderful.
She said, you know what she said? Now you're a real Don Juan. Great? Oh my God, she was amazing.
She was amazing,
Yeah,
yes.
she's a fantastic woman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honesty. Yeah, my God, you're right.
Nice.
Total honesty.
Yes.
Today we used to practice there
In her house?
Yeah, I saw the photo
This
that you
morning,
were
yes.
together with her.
Daughter?
Maybe.
Daughter?
Yeah, daughter.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
yes.
she made a movie now, her mother.
I think
There's a
so.
movie.
Yeah. Oh, I
She
would like
showed
to
it
see
at
it.
school.
Really
Manhattan.
nice.
Okay,
She
okay.
came to show us.
Okay.
I'll never forget that. Now you're a real Don Juan.
Wonderful.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
I turn her pages sometimes, yes.
You want me to turn to more?
I think,
You know, he's willing to pay me a lot of money, so I'll share.
For page turn.
No? You give me a little money?
Are you coming?
No, I'm going to share the money with them.
We talk about money later. Did you come?
No, now, in front of all the people.
okay.
So, if I recall well what you said us before, when you play, there's no age?
No.
There's no age for it.
If there is, you walk away.
Yes. I think it's important because I don't know, Pinchas, you also teach, but for me the base of this communication and dialogues between musicians and real musicians is that there are no ages and no levels. So that's where we learn with each other, is when we have the same dialogue, the same feeling. I think it's very important to be able to do that and not to feel that because this or that, you know better, you know. That's something that destroys the communication between musicians is that one of them thinks he knows everything and the other doesn't know. So this makes impossible the experience to happen and the development to be there, and because we all learn from each other. As my brother would say, some know better than others. But in general, I would like to point this out, that it's important for us to be able to have this fluidity between people that shows in the music very much.
Sure.
Yeah.
Any more questions? Are we happy? Are we done?
We have it.
Sorry. Oh, someone from the audience following us online was asking again, Fumiaki, for what it means to you. Exactly the question I did, like what it means to you to be among such legends and working this week.
I think I'm very lucky, you know, to play with for me, the best musicians together and such mentors, you know. And this time, especially, I'm so happy because it's in Barcelona. It's my favorite city since I came here. I'm not like them, you know. I'm very new, you know, like only 3 years ago, maybe first time I'm here. But since then, I'm in love with this wonderful place. I'm crazy about food, always, anywhere. But here I really get crazy, you know? And, you know, wine and people are so warm. And I'm so happy that with my most respected musicians to make music together.
Thank you. Okay, let's call it then. And if you want to have a personal question or anything, you have them here. Thank you very much, everyone, for
Great.
this meeting, and
Gracias.
toi toi for
Gracias.
the concerts.
Gracias.
Yes.